Hello everyone and welcome to this pre-recorded guide on Ulster University for Leaving Cert students. My name is Conan Meehan and I'm the Student Recruitment Officer here at Ulster University. And over the next half an hour of this guide, I'm going to tell you everything about studying at Ulster University, including choosing Northern Ireland for your higher education, where we're based in terms of our campuses and what courses we have to offer, our entry requirements, what you can expect in terms of career opportunities, and all the fun stuff you can expect with us at Ulster University. So jumping straight right in, Ulster University, the first question we have to answer is why consider studying in Northern Ireland for your university degree? Because of course, if you choose Ulster University for your degree pathway, you will be studying outside of the state, that is outside of the Republic of Ireland, and you will be studying in Northern Ireland. So whilst you'll still be studying on the island of Ireland, you'll be studying outside of the CAO system. So why Northern Ireland? Why go to all that hassle just to study up north? There's actually quite a few good reasons as to why Northern Ireland is an excellent option for Leaving Cert students. And the first of which is actually Northern Ireland is the most affordable region in Ireland or the UK to live, work and study. And that's evidenced every year in independent university guides. And you can save yourself up to €12,000 across your 3 years at university here in Northern Ireland by simply choosing a university here in the north. The second reason is typically universities in the north have lower points requirements because the competitiveness of them are quite different. And for example, a course like physiotherapy in the Republic would go for something like 500 or 600 CAO points, but here in the north, they can be as achievable as 300 to 400 CAO points. In addition to that, you don't have to pay for university before you study or during your studies either. You can simply study now, and when you graduate and are earning over a particular amount of money per year, you'll begin to pay that back. And then finally, well, we're on the same island, so we're only up the road, especially from the capital, Dublin. We're a mere 2 hours away from our Belfast city centre campus. So now that we've got Northern Ireland out of the way, I want to talk about who we are. And it's a little known fact that we are Ireland's second largest university with over 24,000 students studying across 3 campuses. Despite the fact that we're an Irish university, we have global impact, boasting a network of 250,000 of our graduates working in over 48 countries worldwide. So why Ulster University then for your degree pathway? Well, quite a good few reasons, and like I've already mentioned, we're the second largest university in Ireland with over 24,000 students. And why that matters is because we have a direct proportionate amount of courses for those students. So we offer over 300 full-time undergraduate degree programs, so there's plenty to choose from. We're also the #1 university in Northern Ireland for student satisfaction. So students really like us, and they tell us that every year in something called the National Student Survey, where they rank and they rate us based on our quality of teaching and the career opportunities that we make available for our students before they leave. And that's probably why, for example, that 94% of our students enter either full-time professional employment or further postgraduate study within a very short period of time of leaving the university. And as I've mentioned, we're an internationally relevant university with massive global impact, not only sending our students to work worldwide, but also welcoming students from over 100 countries across the world. And also we're the most popular university in the North for postgraduate study. What's more than that, and a question that you may have in your head when consider Ulster University or considering to study in the north or across the water is the impact of Brexit on your studies. And I'm delighted to say actually that Brexit will have no impact in your ability to study here in the north at Ulster University. So there will be 0 additional Brexit hurdles for you to overcome. And in addition to that, you will still have the opportunity to apply to our Department for Health funded courses that don't have any fees. So no longer will you be charged or expected to be charged international fees. You will still be avail of the same home fee status. So it will be as if Brexit had never happened, at least in respect of higher education. So that's good news all around. Also, a few reasons to consider Ulster University is because we're academically excellent in a number of areas across our course prospectus. And we work in the UK league tables and ranking system. of which there are 300 universities. And as such, we rank pretty well out of those 300 universities. So for example, we rank first in the UK for hospitality and leisure, second for optometry, second for pharmacy, second for land and property management, second for film production and photography, and the list goes on. So as you can see, your experience, at least academically at Ulster University, is one that's led by high quality research, our connections with industry partners and employers, and also led by world-class academics who come from all over the world to teach at Ulster University. So you can be confident that whatever course you choose at Ulster University, it is nationally significant in terms of league tables and rankings. So what I want to talk about now is where we're based, because if you don't already know, Ulster University is a multi-campus university, and that means that we don't just have the one campus in the one city, we actually are spread across Ireland, and we have 3 campuses at Ulster University that makes up the one university in whole. So we have our Belfast, Coleraine and Magee campus, and depending on which campuses or which course you pick, you will be placed on a campus which is matched with that course. So as you can see, these are just some of the examples of courses that are matched to that campus. So depending on what you choose in your UCAS application form, this will determine your location of study. But, you know, if you're coming from pretty much anywhere in Ireland, you know, our 3 campuses are fairly accessible, especially if you're traveling from Dublin, where, as you can see, our Belfast campus is only an hour and a half up the road, whereas Magee and Coleraine in County Derry is a mere 3 hours from Dublin. So we're only up the road. We're closer than you think, I suppose. So what I want to do now is talk about our course offering at Ulster University. And not only do I want to just show you the breadth of courses that we offer, I want to show you the methods of study that are available to you if you consider choosing us at Ulster University. And the image you now see on the screen is just an example of some of the innovation that that underpins the teaching on our courses. I'll talk a little bit about a course recently that gained international status, but I'll save that for a few slides time. So what ways can you study at Ulster University? Well, the majority of our courses are 3-year degree programs, okay? And this makes up 99.9% of the degrees available at Ulster University. They're mostly 3 years, and that includes courses like law, nursing, social work, as well as allied health programs such as physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and speech and language therapy. In the Republic, these courses tend to be between 4 and 5 years long, so you're qualifying much earlier in the north, and you still have the same accreditation professionally and the ability to immediately return to the Republic for work after your degree program. We also have 4-year degrees, and these typically tend to be a little bit more specialist. And our 4-year degree programs are known as integrated masters. So this is when you combine your 3-year degree program with a 1-year master's, and you come out with what's known as an integrated master's program. It's a little bit more specialist, but again, considering that most of the degrees in the Republic, or some of the degrees in the Republic, are 4 years anyway, then this is of the equivalent status. Another method of studying at Ulster University are higher level apprenticeships, and these are part-time undergraduate courses at Ulster University, but instead of being a full-time student, you're actually employed full-time by one of our partner employers, and they not only pay your tuition fees for you, so your higher education is essentially free, they also pay you a professional salary in addition to that. And then finally, just to say that something that's really important, and a reason why that our graduate employability rate is so high at Ulster University, is because of the emphasis that we place on work industry placement on our students when they arrive with us. And this is the opportunity to, between second and final year of your degree program, to take a year out and work with one of our partners, either locally or nationally, and get paid for it, but also to develop the foundational skills that graduate employers will ask you if you have. I'll talk more to that throughout the presentation, but those are the main methods of studying at Ulster University. Something that you want to be considering now, if you have not already been considering it, is professional accreditation. You mightn't have heard of what professional accreditation is, but it's a really important consideration for a graduate employer who, when they look at your CV and they look at the university that you've come from, it will be a clue to them as to the quality of course that you've undertaken and have graduated from. So professional accreditation essentially is when the leaders in the industries to which you wish to work after your university studies, they take a look at courses available at universities across the UK and Ireland and beyond, and they review everything from the quality of teaching, the feedback, the level of research, and the quality of that research that is happening at that university, and the career opportunities that are made available to their students. And if they feel that the courses meet a certain standard, then they put their seal of approval on those courses and they become what's known as professionally accredited courses. And essentially what this indicates to an employer is that your course or Ulster University courses meet industry level standard across that sector. So this is something that's becoming increasingly important, and it's something that you can ask a university if they have, and we would encourage you where possible to do that because it is an increasingly important factor for employers. And at Ulster, the vast majority of our courses are professionally accredited. So with all that said, what I want to do now is just jump into the courses that we have available at Ulster University, and they're split across a couple of different faculties or groups of different subjects. On our first faculty here, as you can see, comprises actually a very broad range of different courses, everything from the creative industries through animation and art and design to more academic based courses such as social policy, politics, law, law with accounting, law with the criminology, etc., and journalism. But who these kinds of courses would be for is anybody who is creative. So anybody, not just in the artistic sense that you can sculpt and you can paint and you can draw, but who is a creative thinker, who is a problem solver, who is a storyteller. Because if you think of courses like journalism, that is exactly what you are. You are a storyteller, and you have to think of ways of conveying the message to your audience, to your readership. And similar with careers like law as well. As a lawyer, as a barrister, a solicitor, you will be making a creative argument as to why your client or your person in question should be either convicted or released without charge, etc. So these are for people who are creative thinkers, problem solvers, think outside the box, kind of the Elon Musks of the world, and I guess the Steve Jobs of the world. Our second faculty, and actually before I actually go on to our second faculty, the course that I did want to mention as being internationally significant is our games design course, which you'll not find anywhere else on the island of Ireland. And recently the creators of a well-known PlayStation and Xbox game, all you gamers out there will know of a game called Fortnite. They recently appraised Ulster University's games design course as being internationally significant, and Fortnite is now one of our industry connections where students can go and work. You can Google that, but it's something that we're super proud of. So our next faculty is our Faculty of Computing Engineering and the Built Environment. And as you can see, we have computing and engineering degrees coming out of our ears. And that should be no surprise given how well we rank in terms of engineering at Ulster University. We rank 12th in the UK for general engineering. So that's out of 300 universities. So we do pretty well. We punch well above our weight. But as you can see, there are courses here highlighted in pink, which indicate an earn while you learn type degree program. So this is what's known as a higher level apprenticeship. And as I previously suggested, this is where you work with an employer. You work with them full time. They pay you a salary. They also pay your tuition fees. And in addition to that, after you graduate in 4 years' time, they automatically take you on as a continued employee. So it's almost like automatic employment. I should also point out another course called Artificial Intelligence at our Magee campus. And again, we are the only university on the island of Ireland that's currently offering a degree in artificial intelligence. And why that's important is because if you are interested in computing and engineering and smartphone technology, perhaps, then you'll know that big tech companies like Google, Amazon, LinkedIn, Facebook, all their headquarters, their European headquarters, are based in Dublin. And if we're the only university who are currently producing graduates with degrees in artificial intelligence, then it puts our graduates at a competitive advantage over other universities in this Ireland because they have that exact skill set which those tech companies are after. Our second last faculty is our business school, and like any good business school, it's got all the classic icons you'd expect to find, including accounting, economics, hospitality management, marketing, human resource management, business studies, and financial technology, etc. You'll see again here that there are higher level apprenticeship opportunities here, and this would be ideal for someone who, as I've previously suggested, would like work experience in tandem with their studies. And then finally, our Faculty of Life and Health Sciences. This is perhaps our most popular faculty, not only because of how well we rank in our graduate employability and student satisfaction, but also because of how well placed our graduates are to go and work automatically in their fields of choice. And that's why, for example, the graduate employability rate is 100% across a range of these courses within this faculty. So as you can see, we have everything from biomedical sciences to psychology to sport to nursing to geography and environmental sciences and so on. But not all courses at Ulster University are equally as attractive as others, perhaps, and that's because within this faculty alone, there are a number of courses which are totally funded by the Department for Health here in the North. And what that means is there are no tuition fees, so there are no fees at all you need to pay back after you study. And with some of our courses, there are bursaries and scholarships available. However, there is a catch, like any good deal, and that is with the top 6 courses you see highlighted in blue, with the blue rectangle around it, you must undertake the HPAT Ulster examination. And this is a separate examination from HPAT Ireland. This is slightly different and it is tailored for these courses, but it is accredited by the same organisation as HPAT Ireland. The organisation is called Cert. If you're interested in applying to these courses, you must register for the HPAT Ulster examination by the 2nd of January 2022. You'll undertake the HPAT Ulster test in mid-January, around about when the UCAS application deadline is due. For nursing, mental health nursing and paramedic science, you have to undergo an interview with members of our admissions team and representatives from the Department for Health, because they're looking for a very particular skill set that can't be taught in schools or assessed in a HPAT Ulster examination. And these are very soft skills, compassion, care, etc. And in addition to the fact that there are no tuition fees on these courses, with those 3 courses I just mentioned, nursing, mental health nursing, and paramedic science, there is a €5,500 bursary that is awarded to every student at Ulster University on those courses. That's a non-means tested bursary, meaning that everybody gets it, so regardless of your household income. So it's certainly a really great incentive for anybody considering nursing. And recently, although we don't have the infographic just yet, we were awarded the #1 nursing provider in Ireland. So that's something we're really proud of. And then finally, for podiatry, you do not have to sit the HPAT Ulster examination or attend an interview. You must simply meet the entry criteria and you're on the course. So that's a little bit of a look at the courses that we offer at Ulster University. If you saw anything or heard anything that was of interest, I would encourage you to take a mental note of it and go research it after this presentation. So what I want to do now is talk about the entry requirements in terms of getting into Ulster University. How achievable or how difficult is it to get into Ulster University? Well, first of all, we have a number of requirements at Leaving Cert level. The first requirement is that you need to be studying at least 5 Leaving Cert subjects, okay? So regardless of whether you're doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or however many, 4 of those must be at higher level, and 1 of those must be at ordinary level. Or if you're doing more than 5 or all 5, they can all be at higher level. But essentially, you're only allowed 1 Leaving Cert subject at ordinary level, and 4 must be at higher, okay? So whether you're doing 5, 6, 7, or 8, you need to just make sure that at least 4 of those are at higher level. In addition to that, we require an ordinary level 4 or higher level 6 in your English. And of course, there are specific subjects required for certain courses. So for example, our architecture course may ask you for a certain grade in Leaving Cert Maths, or pharmacy course may ask you for a certain grade in your biology or chemistry subjects. So please make sure that you're actually studying those subjects before you apply to any courses at Ulster University. In addition to the fact that you need 4 hires and 1 ordinary level subject, there are specific UCAS points associated with each of our courses that you also need to meet. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But the main thing to note here is that we count your points across all of your subjects. So regardless of whether you're doing 5 or 7 Leaving Cert subjects, we count the points from each of those Leaving Cert subjects. So it's not just your best 6. If you're doing 9, we'll count all 9 subjects. So it's much easier to get an offer from Ulster University than it might otherwise be in universities in the Republic. So now I come on to UCAS points, and this is where this might be an area where you're unfamiliar with, but I'll do my best to explain it because it really isn't that difficult. And as you can see on the left-hand side, we have the UCAS points calculator in terms of what each grade is worth in terms of points. And then on the right-hand side, I have a table here showing you the kinds of courses that fit within this points category, the main courses or most popular courses. And I'll now demonstrate just how easy or how difficult it is to retrieve an offer from those courses. So first of all, let's take a look at courses in the 128 to 136 points range. These would be our most competitive courses. And that's naturally because most of these courses are the highest ranking in terms of league tables and rankings. And assuming you're studying, let's just say 7 Leaving Cert subjects, you might be studying 5, you might be studying more, but 7 seems to be the average number of subjects that Leaving Cert students study. So what is the least amount of grades that we can get to achieve an offer for these kinds of courses? Well, if we're studying 7 subjects and if we're allowed at least 1 ordinary level, then you can see there we need at least 1 ordinary level 4, 3 higher 4s, sorry, 2 higher 3s, and 1 higher level 2. Okay, and that would give you 138 UCAS points. That's the minimum that you would need to achieve an offer from those courses. Let's take middle of the road programs then, for example, artificial intelligence, civil engineering, social work, as well as personalized medicine. What's the minimum that we can get away with if we're studying 7 subjects? And the minimum that we would need is 1 H3, 5 H4s, and 1 ordinary level 4. And then finally, let's take a look at some less competitive subjects such as architecture, business studies, economics, fine art, as well as marketing. Then at 112 UCAS points, we would need 6 higher level 4s and 1 ordinary level 4. But this will vary and depend on the amount of qualifications or Leaving Cert subjects that you're actually studying. But what you can do is you can go to our website, ulster.ac.uk, and you can type in the courses of interest that you're interested in. We've got a fantastic Google-esque like course finder where you can search for any course that you're interested in, and on our course pages, you can find out not only everything about the course in terms of where our graduates go to work and the kinds of organizations they work for, but also most importantly, our entry requirements at Leaving Cert level. So as you can see here, we are asking for 112 UCAS points from 4 subjects, at least from 4 higher level and 1 ordinary level subject. And then we offer you here a UCAS points table, okay? To show you exactly what your grade is worth. So use our website if you're unsure as to what the UCAS points tariff works out at. It's a great system. It's a great site for information. And hopefully that makes sense. So moving swiftly on. Now I want to talk about careers and employment because at Ulster University, that's a really important part of our ethos. We believe that if you come to Ulster University, then you should be prepared to have a job offer before you leave us in your final year. And so we train you for that. As soon as you enter our doors, we are building your employment skills. We are training you for job interviews, and we are trying to make you as employable as you can. And that's why, for example, that 94% of our graduates do find professional employment or postgraduate study within a very short period of time of leaving the university. And how we do that is through a range of services which are totally free and expert guidance that you can avail of at Ulster University through our Career Development Centre, who will provide guidance on writing the perfect CV, how to sell yourself well, as well as training you on how to conduct an interview, the do's and don'ts of attending an interview and how to answer questions professionally. The most important aspect of going to Ulster University, or any university rather, is this notion of work industry placement, because this really is the most important thing other than the quality of the course. that you should be thinking about when you're doing your university research, because it really is the opportunity maker for our students in terms of securing them full-time employment. And for example, these are just a snapshot of the kinds of organizations, both local and international, to which we routinely send our students, either as part of a paid placement and ultimately where they end up after they leave Ulster University. So as you can see, there are some local organizations you may recognize, such as RTE, the GAA, the NHS, the HSC, Tourism Ireland, the FAI, the IFA, etc. All our graduates routinely go to these organizations because they have experience in them, as well as international organizations such as Google, PlayStation, Walt Disney, Coca-Cola, and UEFA. These are just some of the international giants that Ulster University students are going to work for routinely after they leave the university. And in some cases, they actually work in management roles in these organizations. And the reason that all matters, the reason why work industry placement matters, is because of a piece of research that's carried out every year at government level here in the North. And that is carried out by our Department for the Economy, who suggest that across the UK and Ireland, almost 60% of graduate employers would be unlikely to recruit a candidate with no work experience. So that's why it's increasingly important for you to think about the wider opportunities available at Ulster University, not just what happens in the classroom, because employers are more interested in what you have done in addition to your degree at university, rather than the degree that you've done and the university that you've went to. So if you've learned anything from this presentation today, it would be to research work placement opportunities at university. And at Ulster, not only do we provide work opportunities, we provide opportunities for you to get out of Ireland. I think that's one of the best things of staying and studying in Ireland, is the ability to get out of it temporarily and go experience the world, go see the world, and come back with a renewed experience and insight and skill set to inject back into the local economy. And at Ulster, we have over 300 destinations worldwide to which we can send you, either as part of a paid work placement, but also as part of an international student exchange program for up to 12 months, but it could be for as little as 7 days, for example, with our Global Leadership Experience program in Malaysia. So these are just some of the examples of where our students went to in 2019. And by the time you come to university in September 2022, we'll be long past COVID, fingers crossed, and we'll be sending students in the bucket load back out worldwide. And you can find out a wee bit more about our students who have spread their wings and gone to some fantastic places worldwide, such as the United States, India. But my favorite, of course, is Fiji, where Ocean Kennedy taught the locals a little bit of hurling as part of the Think Pacific volunteering program. And these guys are now can now come back to Ireland and say that they have international work experience or volunteering experience. It's a really fantastic opportunity. So parking all that aside, and that's all food for thought after this presentation, I briefly want to touch on the sports opportunities available at Ulster University. Because at Ulster University, we have over 75 sports clubs for you to either compete in if you have a sporty bone already, but if you don't and you're just interested in getting involved and meeting new people, then you can try out these sports clubs either as part of a social events, you know, if it's five-a-side football every Tuesday at our sports complex, or just as an excuse really to catch up with your friends. So there are loads of different sports here available. We couldn't fit them all in to the slide, but these are just some of the most popular sports that we have available at Ulster University. And now I want to talk about Ulster University's sport and performance, because it's something that we are particularly proud of. And as you can see, the scoreboards speak for themselves. This is an example of our GAA men's football team. And as you can see, we stuffed Queens. We just about stuffed RCSI. We royally stuffed Ophia College, but unfortunately UCD got the better of us at our home grounds in January. But don't worry, we'll get them back. So this is just an example of our sport and performance. And if you come to Ulster University, the sporting facilities are absolutely fantastic. We have national athletes who come and use them every year, such as Paddy Barnes, as well as Michael Conlon, the Belfast boxer. So you'll know that you're in good hands in terms of your sporting career. What I want to specifically talk about now is our talented athlete scholarship that we have for students who are involved and engaged in sport at a competitive level, either as part of as playing for county or playing for at international level for Ireland, or indeed in some other competitive way. And through the talented athlete scholarship, you can get €600 worth of sports services every year. So this includes a gym membership automatically paid for, physiotherapy sessions should you need it, as well as hydrotherapy sessions, as well as pastoral and mentoring support to play at your best. In addition to that, you'll get a UCAS points reduction on any course available at Ulster University. And in addition to that, again, you'll get class and exam performance leniency because you'll be giving up so much time to be absent from university, either training or competing. Then we give you some leniency in your performance. So this is our way of giving back to you if you're involved in any way at all in sport. So flying through this, I come to the fun section now. I want to talk about fees and finance because it's important for you to understand the financial impact of university, regardless of where you go, whether you stay here in the Republic, go north, or study worldwide. And what I want to do now is just lay out the situation as it exists in the north. So university in the north is essentially free at the point of entry. And what that means is, yes, whilst there are fees, you don't have to pay them before you study or during your study, and you only have to pay them when you graduate and are earning over a pretty good salary per year, so 23,934 per year. Okay. So it works a little bit like a study now, pay later system. So you study now and you get the benefit of your education, and you pay later when you can actually afford it. And you only pay if you're earning over that salary threshold. So it's a little bit of an insurance policy in that you only pay for your education if you reap the economic benefits of it. And I want to compare that now to universities or the jurisdictions that exist across these islands, both ourselves here in the north, yourselves in the south, and across the water in England, Scotland, and Wales. I want to compare the costs of going to college or university and what the price differentials are in terms of your total outgoings at university per year. Okay, so just taking this from top to bottom, you can see the different tuition fees cost per year across here in the north, the Republic, and England, Scotland, and Wales. And as you can see, a little bit difference at the top, but as we all know, nobody pays the tuition fee amount anywhere across the UK and Ireland. And that's because the government will pay them. Either in the Republic, they'll pay a significant amount and they require you to pay only €3,000 in a student contribution. Or in the north and across the water, they totally pay it and there's no upfront contribution, so you don't pay anything upfront at all. In addition to that, there are no student levy charges at Ulster University, or to my knowledge, in universities across the water. This is something that you do have to pay upfront in the Republic. And the example given here is UCD. They're charging €350 per year for their student levy charge. And then, of course, you have to consider the cost of accommodation. Now, whether that's a factor for you in the Republic, if you're from Dublin and you're intending to study in Dublin, then that might not be a factor for you. However, you will lose out on the university experience. But if you are considering accommodation, then you can see that it's very, very costly to stay in accommodation in Dublin, and alternatively across the water in universities like Liverpool or Manchester, etc. So considering all that and considering the cost of living, you can see that the total amount that you would be out, excluding the tuition fees, so the stuff that you don't have to pay, the stuff that you do have to pay, you can see that there's a price differential there between the north and south of about €7,000, and between the Republic and England, Scotland, Wales of almost €8,000. In terms of financial help, in terms of what you can get whilst you're at university, you will get a fee grant rate in Ulster University of an automatic 100%. So it's not dependent on your household income, whereas in the Republic, it is dependent on your household income. So that €3,000 that you have to pay up front, you may only get 50% fee grant in the Republic, whereas here in the North, your tuition fees are automatically paid for. That's not something you have to worry about right now. And in terms of a SUSI grant, well, you get exactly what you would get in the Republic, albeit a wee bit more, because if you're intending to come to Ulster University, then the criteria means that you're going to get more in terms of a SUSI grant to assist with travel, etc. So just to recap, in Northern Ireland, a government company called Student Finance Services EU pay your tuition fees. You pay nothing until you graduate and are earning over €23,900. And after this, you only repay it incrementally through a small monthly contribution in tax. And at that rate, at €23,900, it would be, around about €6 per month is what you would pay back on your higher education. So it's really not breaking the bank. And the question you have to ask yourself is, would you rather pay for your higher education now at the age of 17 when you're maybe in a part-time job and can barely afford it? Or would you rather pay for it when you've actually graduated from that university and are in a full-time professional job and you're earning €23,000? So I'll leave that answer with you. But what we do know is that this means that the North is the most affordable region in the UK and Ireland to live, work and study. And everything that I've just evidenced in that previous slide means that you'll save up to €12,000 across a 3-year degree program in university costs. So this includes cost of living and cost of accommodation as well. So you're really getting a bargain with us. And that's why, for example, more students from the Republic are considering us for the university studies. So parking that aside, I want to come on to another fun topic before I end this presentation, and that is the topic of UCAS, because as I've suggested at the very beginning of this presentation, this is the application system to which you must apply if you are considering applying to Ulster University courses or courses outside of the Republic or in the UK in general. So in terms of how the application system works, applications are made via ucas.com. And the main thing you need to know for right now is that the deadline for applications for September 2022 entry is the 15th of January 2022. In terms of what an application looks like, it's very, very simple. First of all, you go to ucas.com/apply and create an account, after which you will be given a number of fields that you need to complete. But the most important will be your choices, of which you get 5 for universities in the UK. And then you must write a personal statement along with that application. This is really simple. This is just an outline as to why you're applying to the course. At Ulster University, we don't look at your personal statement except for courses like nursing and social work. So I would encourage you not to worry about this too much unless you're applying for those courses. Then after that, you must nominate a referee. And this is likely a good hint to nominate your teacher, your guidance counselor who can write about your academic abilities. And then you will pay and submit that application. For a UCAS application, it's roughly about €27 for 5 choices or €22 for 1 choice. And then after that, UCAS will send the applications to the universities for decision making. But right now, that's a lot of information. So what I want to do is to simply just tell you to think about the UCAS deadline, which is the 15th of January 2022. So lots of time to consider your choices and get your skates on. Okay, so before I end the presentation, what I want to talk about now is upcoming open days that we have coming up both in May and in September. And our first open day in May is targeted at families. So this will be you and your parents or guardians who want to come along virtually. I know we're sick of the virtual world right now, but wants to come along and find out about what life is like at Ulster University. So what is the quality of accommodation like? What is the cost of living like? What do I need to find out about student finance? What support offering is there at Ulster University? What if I have a disability, etc.? All that information will be housed at our family open day, and that's Saturday the 22nd of May. And then for our school open day, on Saturday, the 6th of September. This is again virtual, better safe than sorry. And this is where we'll talk more about our courses available at Ulster University, the academic opportunities available with us, as well as some of our professional industry partners come along to our talks. So do tune in and register for those if you can. It's an important part of your decision-making process. But if for some reason you don't get to join us at our open days, do try and follow us and get social with us on social media. We do have an Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter account, and we run regular competitions as well as student takeovers. You can find out a lot about what our students have to say about life at Ulster University. And in addition to that, oh, there was meant to be an email address there, but it's not there. It's just my face instead. So I'll leave you with that. But all I want to suggest now is that you do take the time to consider your options over the coming months. Do look at Ulster University and what we have to offer. And we hope to see you in physically at some point over the next 12 months, where we can talk more to you about opportunities at Ulster University. So with that all said, I hope you find this guide useful. And if you need any of your questions answered at all, you can email us at study@ulster.ac.uk. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.